But we begin with what is really stunning new information on what the FBI says it found at former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home more than 18 months after he left office. In a fresh court filing, the Justice Department included this image. You'll want to look at it closely. It shows the classified documents seized in that search. It's something we're seeing for the first time, and it appears to show some of the nation's top secrets on the floor, including in files, as you see there, clearly marked secret and top secret. Investigators believe there were attempts to hide this material from officials who are desperately trying to recover this. We're going to bring in our CBS News national affairs and justice correspondent, Jeff Pegues, to discuss all of this. Jeff, talk to us about the timeline all of this reveals, once again, according to what the DOJ is saying, and what case this now makes or really undoes for the former president when he says these were mine and they need to be returned to me now.
How much time do I have to go back and explain? Listen, there's a lot of water under this bridge, and that photograph that you just showed, you know what they say, if a picture speaks 1,000 words. I mean, that is not how you handle top secret government information. And that's what the Department of Justice is saying here in this latest court filing. It came late last night when most of America was asleep. But here's what this is all the culmination of. There was this back and forth between the Justice Department and Trump representatives. The former president himself, you could throw him in there as well, because the government, on behalf of the National Archives, was trying to get this information back. And this has been a song and dance, if you will, for at least a year and a half. It started with the National Archives, then the National Archives asked the Department of Justice for help earlier this year. And then there was this back and forth between Trump attorneys and the Department of Justice, National Security Division, ultimately because the government felt it was not getting full cooperation from the Trump side. They served this warrant. They went to a judge in South Florida. They established probable cause to the degree that the magistrate judge, felt it was okay to approve this search warrant of a former president's residence.
Yeah.
And that led to the search of Mar-a-Lago. And they recovered in that initial search, there were some documents recovered back earlier this year, but then they recovered more documents.
Right, they turned it over. They said that they had provided everything under oath. They said that they had provided everything, and then we see these images. Jeff, help us just to understand why Trump wanted to keep those documents. Do we know anything about? I mean, we keep talking about how unprecedented this is, but I'm just trying to understand the why behind it. And have we learned anything in his latest response to this development?
Well, he put out a response today, this morning, in response to that photograph you showed of the government documents spread across the floor. He alleged that the government planted those they did that. They spread those documents around on the floor. Terrible the way he says the FBI during the raid, he calls it a raid of Mar-a-Lago, threw documents haphazardly all over the floor. So the government spread those I don't know if the government spread those documents out. If they found the documents as you see them in that photograph, but that's beside the matter at this point. What the government is trying to show is, hey, here's what we found after we had been talking and discussing with the Trump team, after a subpoena. Here's what we found during that search. More documents.
Yeah.
Okay, more documents. Even after the subpoena, they said that, hey, we've turned everything over, but that is not the case, according to the Department of Justice. And then, in addition, they allege in this latest filing, which I think is really interesting, that these documents, they are to the level in terms of classification that some of the agents who were searching Mar-a-Lago did not have the clearances to actually look at the documents during the search.
And we should
it's
note,
really fascinating.
Yeah. To that point, though, that
I got to say, this is fascinating stuff. You don't see this kind of government response. Obviously, this is an unusual case, but here we have the government taking another step to show the public more of the evidence that it has, and there's a reason why the DOJ released that image.
Yeah. I wanted to say, though, that to that point, though, it's clear that it's been redacted. Those are cover sheets that we're seeing. We're seeing white pages, so we're not seeing actually any confidential or secret.
And Jeff, just in our last few moments here, considering that this is now out, the DOJ is almost hinting, hey, this is what we'll show you now as you continue to try and push for a special master, meaning they likely have much more specific evidence. Is it possible that former President Trump's actions now are putting himself in further jeopardy? For one example, he admitted that his passports were taken, but you look at the DOJ filing, that seems to suggest if his passports were with these secret documents, then he must have known these documents were where they were found. So what next?
Well, what we see turning up repeatedly in these government filings is the word obstruction. We've also seen the word espionage in some of these filings. And so when I see this latest filing, I'm thinking, as someone who has to look into this story, talk to sources, instead of fighting this, why don't President Trump's supporters encourage him to make to have discussions with the government, to say, okay, I made a mistake, how can we work this out? Because the way this looks is that the more the Trump side fights back, the Department of Justice keeps coming out with little bits of evidence, which, to your point, Errol, there's more. They don't reveal everything they have in these court filings. They wait until there's a trial before they reveal all they have. They play all the cards that they have for the public to see. So this is what they felt safe about revealing. So what else is there? That's the question that now we all have, based on that image that says so much about how documents, according to the government, were being handled by the former president.
All right, Jeff.
Just incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.